morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I am back with wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news, because you see, ladies and gentlemen, it would appear that a pretty large reprint of Vstar Universe is on the horizon, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. Now, what's weird is basically all of this has been coming up over the past couple of days, to be honest with you. But it's coming more and more. There's more and more proof, I suppose, is the word we're going for here, that this is actually coming and is actually legit. And because it's happening in so many places and we're seeing so many different websites popping this up, first of all, it seems to be absolutely legit. And secondly, this seems to be a fairly large reprint. Now, firstly, we're hearing it's a fairly large reprint. But secondly, you don't list it everywhere if it's a small niche reprint, because that doesn't make a huge amount of sense. I mean, for instance, Amazon Japan. Now, Amazon Japan is not your small niche little website that caters to hardcore Pokémon, TCG, and other TCG fanatics. It is the big website. When it comes to, anything, basically, it is the big website. So when we see Vstar Universe being relisted on Amazon Japan, that's pretty big deal. Now, one thing that does need to be borne in mind, and this is very important, it is generally being done by invitation only on Amazon Japan. Now, I don't have any insider information into the workings of Amazon Japan, but I can tell you that I have entered a lot of these lotteries over on Amazon Japan. You have to kind of put in your email address, hope to be selected. And as it stands at the moment, I have failed. I have comprehensively failed every time. I order from Amazon Japan on average 2 to 3 times a month. I get like 20 to 30 things from Amazon Japan a year, sorry. That'd be stupid. A year, I get 20 to 30 things from Amazon Japan. I shop there very regularly. So I know they've got my address right, and I know my account works perfectly. And yet I've entered many, many, many of these. And I've never won any. So I think that probably tells you pretty much everything that you need to know. So yes, it's available on Amazon. Yes, you do need to go and have a lottery. That's a bit of a pain, etc. That's not really the point. Because the fact that it's being relisted on Amazon is the point. Again, not a niche TCG website, the big website. If they are getting it, then that is a very good sign. The lovely Primal Lugia, one of our very, very favourites, actually did share recently that Vstar Universe, now this was a very small thing, did go up on the official Pokemon Center website over in Japan in the middle of the night UK time. It was limited to a few packs per person and sold out pretty quickly. That, incidentally, is why I didn't bring you that news at that time, because it was restocked briefly in the middle of the night and sold out very quickly over in Japan. That is unfortunately not useful news for the majority of us. I don't think that's an unfair statement to make. Little bit sad, but hey-ho, that's the way it is. So I didn't bring you the news at the time because that wasn't really particularly newsworthy, and it wasn't something that most of you could take advantage of. But now that's relevant, because this little restock we had over in Japan was kind of cool. But now when you combine that with this seemingly larger restock that's going on, then all of a sudden this becomes very, very big news. Because I cannot stress this enough. Oh, Vstar Universe is a good set, ladies and gentlemen. Vstar Universe is a very, very, very good set. And this is one that you should all be very excited about. With a very big caveat. And the caveat essentially is, do you collect Japanese cards? Now, for me, I do collect Japanese cards. So for me, I am all about Vstar Universe. I am very excited about Vstar Universe. If you don't collect Japanese cards, might be worth just going for Crown Zenith, honestly. Because with a few little changes, Crown Zenith and Vstar Universe are like basically the same set. So if you're just after the cards, Vstar Universe is probably getting a reprint, but it's going to be a bit awkward, a bit of a pain, etc., etc., because you're still going to have to try and track it down. Crown Zenith is just around. Like, they're just launching the Lugia Unknown Crown Zenith box with those alternate art promos. Like, that's basically happening now. So I do think it's pretty fair to say that actually, if you are just after the cards, Crown Zenith is a better option. So, yeah, I'd maybe go for that. But let's say, for argument's sake, you're like me and you are very much interested in collecting Japanese cards. You have a Japanese collection going. This is a good thing. Like, I bought a couple of boxes of Vstar Universe. I have been waiting to see if they will let me buy more boxes of Vstar Universe. If this is legit and I can find it listed for a decent price, I will absolutely be picking up Vstar Universe. Like, the main set of Vstar Universe, remember, the main set of Vstar Universe is actually very different. So although they are largely the same set and the secret rares are the same, etc., etc., the way it's handled is actually very, very different. In terms of the main set, not in terms of the secret rares. Because their set features a whole bunch of reprints of replayable cards. I mean, sure, you have things like the alternate art Charizard, Radiant Charizard, which is very, very cool. But then again, we got alternate art Radiant Charizard. Like, that did come around in Crown Zenith. But then they also got reprints of Radiant Greninja and Radiant Gardevoir that we did not get because they were straight reprints. They reprinted so many cool cards. Drapion V, that got a reprint. Giratina V-Star, that's pretty playable. That got a reprint. Arceus V-Star, that got a reprint. So these are cards that if you want to play in Japan, it was amazing. If you look at the secret rares and the new cards, yes, we got them in Crown Zenith and it was awesome. And honestly, if you're interested in the new cards, the unique cards, Crown Zenith, I assure you, is going to sate your appetite. You can just buy Crown Zenith and you will be fine. Those new versions of Zero Aura V, V-Star and V-Max, yeah, don't worry about it. They're just in Crown Zenith. Those lovely trainer cards drawn by a Melakart, don't worry. They're in Crown Zenith. And like I say, all of those absolutely stunning secret rares, take like Hisuian Samurott, for instance, or the Okacheke Hooper. There are so many. It feels kind of mean to just pick out some of them. So many of them were so gosh darn good. The Melakart Bibarel. All of these were in Crown Zenith. So if you are just a standard Pokemon collector, Crown Zenith will do the job very, very nicely. This is no longer a set full of a bunch of amazing cards that weren't released in English or haven't been released yet in English. This is a set full of cards that were in Crown Zenith. But I have long said that Vstar Universe and Crown Zenith are not the same set. And again, I know I keep saying they are the same set. Let me be very clear what I mean. If you're after the new unique cards, they are the same set. But whereas Crown Zenith basically had a bunch of random reprints of, or prints of cards that Japan had that we hadn't had yet, promos and the such, over in Vstar Universe, Japan took the opportunity to basically go, right, let's just reprint a whole bunch of hyper-playable cards and then give the whole player base access to these cards very easily. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the point as to why it is so gosh darn good and why this is such a ridiculously good set. And I'm loving it. I bought a bunch of Vstar Universe. I did not buy enough Vstar Universe. And I am very, very, very much hoping that this is legit. And here's the thing, right? Because let's say I'm not going to be able to get in on the Amazon print. Doesn't really matter. Because what happens when a set like this is reprinted, and as I've told you a couple of times in this video, it does seem to be a legitimate, a substantial reprint. What happens is that the price comes down generally, and everywhere where this is available to be bought, all of a sudden it is much more available, much cheaper, much easier to get hold of, and I'm hoping I get another couple of boxes. And let's face it, right, if we saw this little reprint, or little restock, whatever it was, that happened briefly on the Pokemon Center Japan, does anyone realistically think we're not getting a much more significant reprint going up on the Pokemon Center Japan in the very near future? I do, frankly. And that makes me very, very, very happy indeed. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me if you're excited. Tell me if you're going to be going for it. Or tell me whether Crown Zenith coming back just did everything you needed it to. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Eric Ridgway, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.